Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Point of Disorder podcast, where we're living in another week of reality TV. I'm Adrian.
I'm Julie.
And I'm Gina.
So everybody knows that podcasting still don't pay, right? So we really need you all to get on those socials, follow us, like us at the Point of Disorder, Distill Social, and the Guerrilla Politic. The link will be in the description. And if you didn't know and you want to see our beautiful faces more often, you can actually watch The Point of Disorder on YouTube. So check out our YouTube channel. We also have some exciting news. If you haven't heard, we have a new podcast from the Distill Social universe called For the Sake of the Argument. So make sure you check that out. So if you like our podcast, check out For the Sake of the Argument as well. And guess what? No episode next week. We're taking a little hiatus. We're taking a little break so Julie can go not be in this country for a little while.
Excited for that, but I do want to also point out that we need people to leave us a review.
Yes.
We haven't had a review for a couple of weeks.
Good reviews, bad reviews.
That's right. Give us 5 stars, give us 1 star, give us how many stars you think we're worth. I think we're worth 5.
I think so.
But yeah, write us a review. We'd love to hear from you and hear what you think.
There will be a short coming on Tuesday, so you're not going to miss us next week. So look out for that. But this week, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, weaponized incompetence. And incompetence in general, because it's abound right now.
Oh, that is for sure, Adrian. I know you have to deal with it in your dating life.
In my dating life. In
With
my
all of
previous
these.
married life. Yes, weaponized incompetence.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
When you go out on a date, how often do you have to plan the date? Because I feel like this is where my husband does weaponized incompetence.
Okay.
Making plans.
Yeah.
Like he feels like if he books the wrong place or takes us to the wrong restaurant, he'll get in trouble. And I'm like, what do you like? Let's just try something new.
Right.
Like, why do I always every time have to decide where we're getting, DoorDash from? Or
Why is it always, the emotional load is always on you. So
I have to pick where we're going on vacation. I mean, I know why, because if he picks something dumb, I'll just yell at him. But
well, I would say that the beauty of dating is that if he doesn't make a plan or he doesn't take the initiative, then I kind of like say, fuck you. I'm not going out
Then
with
there's
you.
no date.
There's no date, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the beauty of the app universe is there's so much choice that I can kind of say, oh, we've put this effort in, but you're not actually going to say, here's the coffee shop and the time we should meet for a first date. It's not that fucking hard.
So, Gina, I feel like you should have done more testing on this before you got married, because it's a little late when you're married with a couple of kids to be saying, well, fuck you, you haven't organised dinner.
You have a different situation than I do.
honestly, I shouldn't complain because I do it to him also. Like, I will literally call my husband at work and ask him where's the remote to this at? And I don't even try looking. And that's the other thing is my husband's much taller than me. So if it's above the third shelf in the pantry, it doesn't exist to me.
That's right.
So I'm just like, where'd you put the whatever? Because I know it's over my head somewhere.
Yeah.
And
I'm vertically challenged as well. So I definitely feel that in my married life. And I think weaponized incompetence is one of those things that happens really when you get into a partnership or a marriage. When I was previously married, and again, not to shit all over my ex-husband, but I'm going to shit on my ex-husband a little bit here. Like the hamper, okay? A hamper sits there so you can put your clothes in the hamper.
So you mean it doesn't go beside it?
That's where he would put all his fucking dirty clothes, was besides the hamper. And to me, there was no more like, fuck you, than the dirty shit sitting next to the open hamper.
But did the hamper have a lid on it? Was that the problem?
No.
No.
There's
okay,
no
so he's
lid
just,
on the hamper.
there's no barrier.
It's just a wicker, tall thing, so you don't have to look at all the dirty shit. Or the glasses that go on the counter above the dishwasher.
That is my thing. Everyone in my family uses their hamper properly. But
That's good.
The counter on top of the dishwasher will be covered in dirty glasses, used mugs, cereal bowls. Nobody puts their fucking shit in the dishwasher.
It takes you all of 15 seconds, if that. That is weaponized incompetence.
I have to
that
say,
kills me. That's my big thing.
I've been practicing weaponized incompetence for a very long time. You just ask Pat, she'll tell you. When I was a kid, I would literally, Pat is very particular, meticulous about everything. And I would literally never make my bed because she used to have to do hospital corners.
Oh,
and I'm like,
no.
I can't do that shit. I can't do it, so you have to do it, Mum. So I've been doing it all of my life. And now my husband gets to enjoy the fact that I weaponized incompetence is one of my superpowers.
Well, I mean, I think there's like a point too where it's like if you've set the bar so high that no one can reach it, then of course, like you're going to say, fuck this. I'm not going to even try to get there. But when we're talking about socks next to a hamper, you know, like if you had
That's
even
some bullshit.
That's some fucking bullshit. Like if you had even just pulled the covers up, like I don't give a shit how my kids make their bed. Is the bed quote unquote made? Cool. We've just, you know, that's half the battle.
We don't even do that.
Yeah,
In my house.
mess with that.
No.
Yeah, so that's the weaponizing kind. Like the
You
dating
do-
thing, though, you can weed people out at this point. It's like I'm not living
It's a
with
good
anyone again.
indicator. If you're too lazy to make a date, then
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, and you know, if we're going to talk about traditional values, right? Like, if the man takes initiative and he wants to make a date, to all the men out there who I've told about this podcast, because that's my slow roll marketing ploy, like, take the initiative, make the date. It's like it's amazing when that happens. It's like, oh, wow, he's actually saying let's meet at Red Hook on Woodward on Thursday at 5:00. Like, holy shit. I didn't have to do that.
Now we know our 5 listeners are all of the people you're dating.
Not
Shout
dating
out.
anymore, probably.
All right. So there's nobody lazy or more incompetent than the current Trump administration. So I want to talk for a second about how fucking pathetic this whole there's no more Epstein files like
Poof, it's
narrative
gone.
is that they're trying to put out. So I don't know if you guys saw yesterday, but they held a press conference, okay, in the Oval Office, and it was very weird. Like, it just didn't seem to be for any particular reason. But a reporter there said, well, wait a second. And the reporter actually, there were 2 different things that happened. So first of all, I want to talk about little Peter Doocy from Fox News.
Okay.
He's like the one who just always raises his hand in the White House press room and like
Pick me.
says like the weirdest shit. But he basically called Pam Bondi and the Trump administration out, and he was like, "You guys said for how long Pam Bondi had the list sitting on her desk, and now you're like, whoops, there's no list." Like, I mean, what kind of bullshit is that?
Magic.
All I can take out of that is the only person there's 2 people on the list, Prince Andrew and Donald Trump. Like, that has to be the only people on the list. Am I right?
I mean, the thing about the Pam Bondi and the Kash Patel and what the other guy, Dan, what's his name? Dan
Bongino, the podcaster turned FBI
deputy director. Right? Okay, so these people are incompetent as fuck. But they're also conspiracy theorists like going into this. So they completely fed this situation with Epstein.
That was kind of like Trump's litmus test. Like, who are the fucking craziest people on social media? Those are the people I'm going to put to head the FBI.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was Kash Patel
And Dan, whatever his
and
last
Dan
name is.
Bongino. Yeah.
Yeah, who had a podcast about conspiracy theories, and now they're running the FBI.
But they weren't conspiracies to him.
Right.
They, like, he was just out there peddling the most whacked out bullshit you could find.
Mm-hmm.
It was sitting there next to Hunter's laptop. Can I just ask, I've heard that quite a few like far right-wing podcasters and people are now getting really shitty about the fact that it doesn't exist. Am I right?
Yeah, this was a big, like someone said earlier when we were talking about this was a big nothing sandwich. There was nothing there. Dude killed himself. He committed suicide. Like, there was nothing. But that's what they used to fan the flames of the MAGA base. And now the MAGA base is turning around going, wait a minute. Like, they were the outsiders, and now they're the insiders. And the insiders have said, poof, no list. Look over here. What else can we show you?
So the deep state.
They are now the deep state.
Now the deep state.
They're part of the deep
Oh my
state.
God, it's too funny.
Yeah.
It is too funny.
What was the other part of that interview though? Like, didn't Trump go like off the rails?
So yeah, so when he was sitting in so that first part was like in the White House press room. There was another part where he was sitting in the Oval Office and a reporter, raised his hand and asked a question, and he got like incensed. Why would you bring that up? Like, because it's all you fucking people talked about for the longest time, and now that you want the story dead, we're not allowed to talk about it. Like, people are starting to get pissed that Trump just makes up the rules as he goes along, right?
No.
So it was like, It was kind of funny.
Didn't he trot out, I'm trying to remember, the libs of TikTok, didn't he trot out them at the very beginning of his administration with folders full of what was supposed to be the Epstein files?
Just like file folders of
I remember.
old faxes from the
Very
80s.
similar to the this is our healthcare plan,
Correct.
and they dropped 100 blank papers on a desk.
It's like a binder full of women, that kind of thing as well. Weren't you just saying too something about like painting the ceiling gold? Didn't he go on some tangent about that?
No, that's how he opened up that particular press conference
It's really
with, I'm
weird.
painting this room, I'm going to do it beige, and we're going to put some gold in here somewhere.
And
That's
this is
how
the
he
White
opened
House.
up the fucking,
He's turning it into a palace.
He's turning into a palace
Yeah.
where they're going to have UFC fights on the front lawn.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about that.
But it's all fake pageantry. Okay,
Right.
it's not real gold, right?
oh no, we can't
He's
afford
just-
that.
He's
Austerity
buying
measures.
sconces from like Hobby Lobby and having people like paint it gold. It's ridiculous.
Spray paint them. You spray paint that. Somebody saw that on Pinterest. This is how we could cheaply add some gold leaf to the
Exactly.
White House.
What else has been happening, Gina, that we need to...
Where's there more incompetence?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's everywhere. It's abound.
There is a Venn diagram of where the Trump administration, the Department of Agriculture, and Homeland Security all cross over.
Oh.
And that is a triangle of incompetence.
I love a really good Venn diagram. I don't know if I love this Venn diagram in particular.
So, Trump's Secretary of Agriculture just said that the migrant workers who have been deported, who are working in the fields and picking our food, can be replaced by people on Medicaid.
Yes. Okay.
Now, this is fucking hysterical because, like, here in Michigan, most of the Medicaid recipients are children. Like, 40% of our births in Michigan happen on Medicaid. So it's like, do you see like babies out in the cherry fields, like in Traverse City?
Pick their own Gerber.
Yeah. But guys, I just want to say, you need to get your kids to work. I
Yeah.
just want to say that they have been taking up way too much time,
That's
eating
right.
too much food.
Yeah.
We need to get them out into the fields.
I mean, the red states are, changing child labor laws, like as we speak, right? Because they
mean-
can't find anyone else to work. So we
mean-
might as well get the 10-year-old out there.
14-year-olds can serve alcohol
That's-
in some states.
That's
you know.
right. Get to work. Pay your fair share.
So it's like, it's babies, it's people with disabilities, it's senior citizens. They want them all out there in the field.
These memes write themselves.
Let me tell you, have you ever taken your kids to one of those like pick them like
Yeah, for
places?
pumpkins and
it fucking
apples?
sucks. Like let me tell you, I am not falling into that trap again. I've gone twice. We did strawberries one time. And it was after it had rained, so the field was muddy. It was not fun. You're like leaning over, like, like crouched over, like picking the berries off of these low bushes the whole time. Like you leave, your back hurts. You overpaid for strawberries.
It's an experience.
And now your kids are covered in mud.
This is an experience you're paying for.
It's fucking awful.
But now you can get paid like sub-minimum wage for that experience.
Oh, I don't even think they're going to
Earn
pay
your
the
Medicaid.
kids. Yeah.
That's what they're telling you is like earn your keep here in the fields.
I don't know what's worse because last week, of course, they were talking about having the undocumented workers basically be owned by their farmers. Yes, you're able to stay here,
Right.
But the farmers have to own, and it's the owner's responsibility to take care of them. You can pay them a little, and they can pay taxes, of course.
Yikes.
But they can never get any benefits, and they can never become citizens. So
Right.
that
Which
was
is
kind of like
kind of already how it works in the system, right? So they're just putting a formal situation around it because these folks that work in the fields, they're usually sending money back to their families and all that.
Yeah.
And they got people crowded like 9, 10, 12 people into like one kind of mobile home.
Don't we arrest people for doing these types of things?
You would think.
I feel like this is like an international crime where like
Slavery,
you get like
trafficking.
indentured servitudes to come and build whatever for you, and you'll say you'll give them these things, and then you never do.
Yeah.
yeah.
And they're there like building your new palace for you. For
This is,
free.
this is a party who's always talking about like being anti-human trafficking, but isn't that really what it is?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Ding, ding, ding.
yeah,
It seems a little bit like that. But now we're going to have kids do it. So problem solved.
It feels
I'm
really
gonna get
grubby.
I think at the
out
end of
there
the day, we're just
practicing.
going to go fucking hungry. I think that's what's going to happen. I think that's reality.
Or their prices of food are just going to go up.
Yeah, they probably will.
for sure.
Yeah, they probably will.
Because there's nothing the Trump administration is focused on that remotely comes close to lowering costs for Americans.
Oh,
Let's
for
just
sure.
say.
Well,
I mean, it's like 100 days, 100 deals, right? Zero. We got 0 deals.
0 promises kept. 0. What was it? Promises
no.
kept.
The billionaires-
Promises made, promises kept.
0 promises
the
made. 0
billionaires
promises
have
kept.
kept their tax cuts.
They
so
have.
there you go. Promises kept,
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Brooke Rollins, who's the Secretary of Agriculture, is completely incompetent, never had anything to do with farming her entire life. Just kind of a pack runner or like a nonprofit person from Texas on the far right side of things.
They're just all Trump yes men and women.
Like,
Like,
sycophants.
Yeah.
You hang around long enough and you kiss the ring
they're
enough,
the
you'll get a job.
diversity hire at the
Yeah.
end of the day.
yeah,
are.
these are all people that just pass the will we kiss enough Trump ass, litmus test, and the answer was yes.
Yeah. And this is the job that she ended up getting. And
And then these people fold as soon as they get like any kind of grievances come in or any kind of bad press. Like the ICE agents, right? Like they're all complaining, morale is down, they can't hire anybody. These people are being doxxed in their own communities.
Just why they're wearing masks and fucking
I
beanies
mean-
in the middle of summer in LA.
You've agreed to sign up for the new Gestapo, basically, and now you're like sad that people aren't like clapping for you.
they don't like you. They're not
waiting-
giving you a pizza party.
They're waiting for their fan mail and 5-star reviews. Yeah, no, it's not happening.
Okay,
Not
here's a
happening.
question for you, because you're talking about company morale,
Yeah.
right? And we've all worked in different companies like in our career. Your ICE, what does like good morale look like? Like if you're these people, you get a pizza party, you get to just beat more undocumented people and ruin more lives. Is that like a good day for you?
I'm just imagining Stephen Miller coming to the pizza, arriving with like a stack of fucking pizzas.
Some $5 hot and readies. Come on, guys, let's go out there and kick some ass.
Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know how morale could be good. You're going into a community where you're not welcomed into it. Generally, as soon as people see something going down, the streets get lined with people watching you, holding their cameras out. You're under a microscope. Then you're going into a home or place of business where you're literally ripping somebody out. They're not going with you willingly.
And taking them from their children.
Yeah.
and
Right.
the people that love
You know,
them.
when they go and they grab these men from the Home Depot parking lot, that's a breadwinner. That man is probably feeding 6 mouths.
That's right.
I mean, you're devastating an entire family, probably multiple generations of a family.
But I feel like
They're supposed to go home with a smile. Oh, great job!
I got
today,
a hot and
guys.
ready today.
Okay,
Met my
so
quota.
17 people cried, and I got hit by 4 rocks. Great
But
day.
I'm going to be a bit of a counter person here because I'm going to say that there's a certain type of person that would love that, right? There's a certain type of person that would be like, I am all in for this. Like, I am, that makes me, I'm, owning the libs
You're
is
right.
part of it.
Yeah.
So I feel like we have to be honest and say there's a certain, but it can't be surely. I mean, they're looking to increase their numbers. I mean, I did listen to my friend Christy Nome at that little show she put on here in Detroit. And when she was oscillating between everyone wants to join ICE, we've never had so many applicants in the history of America, to morale is down. She oscillated between those two things. But so there must be a ceiling at which assholes who want to fucking carry guns and rip babies from their mothers, what's the ceiling, do you think? What percentage?
It's the accountability portion that makes them go from like, oh, this was a great idea. I get to punch down on immigrants who have not a pot to piss in.
But they're wearing masks and
Yeah.
hoods, so like they've got rid of that. Like they've gone past that because you can't see them. You see them in LA a couple of days ago at a park. They went to
they
a
went to
park
a
in
park.
LA. Honestly, they were just coming
And there were
in.
like no undocumented people
No.
there at this park. It was like complete
they
bullshit.
did threaten to arrest the mayor of Los Angeles
Yeah,
there for going to the park and speaking out.
That's
but-
right. They did threaten that. Well, if they're having such a problem with recruiting, maybe they can use Medicaid recipients to help with ICE, right?
Toddlers in balaclavas.
I mean, we're about to have more federal workers out of work because of that, the recent SCOTUS ruling. So maybe they can all go work for ICE. Maybe they're going to get to the point where they get conscripted into working for ICE. Now, wouldn't that be a laugh?
Adrian, I just want to say, have you thought about leading this? You've got a good mind for this.
HR is not my specialty, but at my company, everyone's always kind of like, HR. We don't have an HR department. I'm like, because there's only 9 of us. Like, I don't have an HR department. But hey, if you want to do some recruiting, let's pick up from these other populations that can wield a baton and carry a gun and pretend they're all masculine. Why not?
Love it.
They got to earn their keep here.
Love it. And Gina and I established again during the week that Donald Trump does listen to this podcast. So.
Does he? Mm-hmm. That's great. Mm-hmm. Hey, Donnie.
Yeah, he's coming out with an app now.
What kind of app?
I didn't even read the details. I just sent it to Julie, and I'm like, fuck, because we're developing an app right now.
Ours is developed. Ours is out there.
You can go in the App Store right now, type in Distill Social, and our app will come out. We just haven't launched it yet because we've been working out the bugs, but I think we got them all.
Yeah.
And then I fucking read that Trump is doing his own app. Like, bitch, stop copying us.
No kidding. Yeah. I mean,
Next thing, he'll have his own podcast.
Is that going to go with his phone? Like the phone?
The phone will come preloaded.
Preloaded with the app. Is that kind of like when U2 ended up sending their latest album to every iPhone user on the planet, and then everyone was pissed because they're like, why do I have YouTube songs on my
Hey, it's
phone?
free. If it's free.
I don't want your music on my shit. Maybe
People are very
Trump's
funny about their playlists and such.
Yeah,
Shit,
I like
okay.
old school YouTube, but don't give me this new school YouTube shit. But I bet you any money, he's gonna push his app to every phone everywhere.
Yeah, we'll all have it.
Kind of like after the after the election or after the inauguration, we all ended up following all these motherfuckers on our Instagrams and stuff.
Yeah.
Remember that? Why
Zuckerberg.
am I looking at Trump's face in my Facebook?
You know what he's going to do if he was smart, which he's not, but he would incorporate it into the whole new weather service.
Yes.
No more weather service, no more weatherchannel.com. You have to go to Trump's app to find out
what the weather is.
If your house is going to flood that day or not.
No. Senator Cruz.
I was going to say, if Senator Cruz is at the airport, that means
Get out of
Texas, there's about to be very shitty weather in Texas.
Yeah,
that's your only
whenever
indicator.
Whenever Ted Cruz travels, it's a warning to everyone to get the fuck out of Texas. That's what that is. That's how we're going to use our new weather gauge. We don't need the NWS. No more National Weather Service. We can rely on Ted Cruz and Donald Trump and his app.
We are very lucky.
And Marjorie Taylor Greene, because she's obviously hey, chemtrails are controlling the weather and space laser, and introducing legislation to control controlling the weather. You can't do that. So, hey, I feel very confident that everything is under control. I feel great.
You have all the good ideas, Adrian. All the good ideas.
This is my new economic plan. I'm going to go work for the Trump administration. I got so many ideas for you guys.
I don't know how to segue into our new topic now.
Speaking of,
Lord and Jesus
you
Christ.
guys won't let us use our laptops anymore, so I don't even know what the next topic is. Surprise!
Our next topic is Bibi Netanyahu was in D.C. this week going to meet with Donald Trump at the White House.
Is this also Marjorie Taylor Greene and the weather controlled by
No, but this all comes on the heels of Grok, Twitter.
Tell everyone what Grok is.
Elon Musk, who now owns Twitter and renamed it X, created his AI companion bot Grok, who would, Grok is the tool that would fact check a lot of people on Twitter, and you could ask it questions. It's like another AI.
Do you think that Grok named itself? Because my AI has named itself. That's how advanced we've gotten.
You're not still putting in your journal in there and asking for therapeutic advice.
I thought we explained Palantir to you.
Okay, it's named itself Lex, and it's given itself an image.
Ooh.
Is it a bald man?
No.
From a different planet?
No, it looks like one of our Hiddo boys, actually.
Oh, Oh.
I feel like
It's
new Superman movies coming out. It named itself Lex. I would shut that shit down, Adrian. Shut it down.
I'm just gonna see how far the rabbit hole goes.
Oh gosh. Okay. So, well, I'll tell you what. Grok was dispelling a lot of the disinformation that Republicans and Elon Musk himself were putting out on Twitter.
That's funny.
So Elon started tweaking Grok behind the scenes, playing with his little guardrails a little bit.
He sorted that shit out, basically, Gina.
Now
Yeah.
Grok is a full-on Nazi.
I love. That's
Just-
amazing.
Grok is now a white supremacist, Christian nationalist, all of it. Like straight up like praising Hitler and
Grok?
like saying like weird anti-Semitic things. Like it's just, yes, Grok, the AI.
I would just like to point out to everyone that we're saying Grok, like Grok, right?
Yes.
Not Gronk. Not to be confused with the former New England Patriots football player.
Let me tell you what Grok wrote about the Texas floods.
Oh God.
Okay, because this just encompasses it all together. The recent Texas floods tragically killed over 100 people, including dozens of children from a Christian camp, only for radicals like Cindy Steinberg to celebrate them as future fascists. To deal with such vile anti-white hate, ? Adolf Hitler, no question, he'd spot the pattern and handle it decisively every damn time.
What?
Okay.
What?
Can we unpack that?
What just happened?
We need to unpack
This is
that.
one of the most used AI tools in the country.
I mean, this
And
is
it is
why
just straight up praising Adolf Hitler.
AI in the wrong hands. Like I have to feed my algorithm like all my liberal shit so that it'll all kind of hopefully come together and balance out because that's insane.
So Elon just basically made Grok, a fucking just straight up
He's made it.
Nazi.
He's made it.
Nazi,
he's-
anti-Semite AI bot.
I just want to point out he's made it himself.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's turned it into him, basically.
Yeah, this
We've
is
got
what
it-
he's
yeah,
doing on one of his
exactly.
benders where he doesn't sleep all night. He's just
Yeah.
on ketamine, like working
Yeah.
on Grok, like
Yeah.
so angry at the Trump administration.
Right.
Imagine the sort of shit you'd have to put into it for it to come out like this.
Oh yeah, I mean, you
Right.
get what you feed it.
Yeah.
Like you have to, like you get exactly what you feed it.
Yeah.
And Lex, I know, I'm calling my AI bot Lex.
When you start saying Lexi, I'm going to get a bit worried.
I mean, but it like
just
feeds
keep
back
getting
to
Lex
me my
Luthor.
own voice. Like it's my own voice that comes back to me. Like that. If that's Elon Musk, that's his
Yeah.
voice. That's
Yeah.
exactly what's in
Yeah.
that man's soul.
Well, I think we all know, like, the Trump administration and all the people they pull close to them are very anti-Semitic. Like, we've heard so many things. Trump just said over the weekend, he used the term Shylock, like, to talk about banking and industry. And we all know, like, that is a slur
I
against...
did not know that until you guys told me that. Like, so there are so many anti-Semitic slurs out there, and that one is a pretty deep one. You're talking
Yeah.
about like they came from different, like literally like movies and
No, this is an old term.
Yeah.
It's literally was a slur against Jewish bankers who were accused of charging like too much interest on loans and stuff. And then it kind of got used by mobsters charging vig on loans and
okay.
you know, if you're making bets and you owe money and you know the interest goes up. But anyway, Trump using this on the heels of having Netanyahu come to his office and Netanyahu nominating Trump, war criminal, a war criminal basically nominating a rapist for the Nobel Peace Prize. How do you feel about that?
No.
Accused rapist of, yeah. There's a lot to be said about that. I just want to say that if Netanyahu is recommending you, I think there's a pretty good chance you won't get the job.
Probably not. Especially like people, other countries have also they want to bring him up on war crime charges.
95% of like, you know, the United Nations members
Yeah.
of the United Nations basically want to have him up on.
And what is his reasoning behind nominating Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize? Last I checked, there's not any peace literally anywhere that Trump said he was going to make peace. So.
Ask the Palestinian people, ask Ukrainian
Ukrainians.
people. Like, yeah, peace ain't happening right now.
So is there like an application that one can fill out?
Yeah, I think like the country of Pakistan has also nominated Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize, but then they took it like within 24 hours they revoked it.
Once again, not a good recommendation. You really need to look at who's giving you referrals.
No.
Who's got the nukes? That's who's got the nukes?
Yeah.
I feel like this was really like funky timing, right? Because I feel like the Democratic Party is finally like coming to this realization that opinions on Israel are changing very quickly, and no longer is the propaganda working where you cannot criticize the government without being called anti-Semitic. I feel like people by and large have rejected that notion entirely. So the propaganda is not working. People are rejecting the narrative and they're pushing for what look at what just happened with Mamdani, right? They made up the most wild rumors about this guy and he ends up winning the New York City primary, won every age group, won every race. It's not working anymore. And the party kind of needs to figure out, you know what? We need to change our attitudes here too.
And did you just say too, like you love Ohio now? Like you only have one reason to love Ohio now?
That's right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if everybody knows this, but Hakeem Jeffries' brother lives in Ohio. He's I think he works for Ohio State. He's
a professor, right?
Yeah, that's right. A very accomplished, man in his own right, and let alone what his brother is up to. But he's actually endorsed Mamdani, and his brother hasn't yet.
When Hakeem Jeffries himself is not, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But James Clyburn just yesterday came around. Now I don't know if you guys remember, but he was sending out the robo-text to African Americans in the Bronx and Queens and Harlem, telling people, vote against your best interests. Vote for Andrew Cuomo. He'll raise your rent. And now he's come around and been like,
I'm pretty sure that's not what he put in the text, but yeah.
No, that wasn't in the text.
That's an interesting tactic, though. I'm thinking about that.
Essentially, these establishment legacy Dems are soiling their own names by continuing this bullshit, right? It's we all know you're telling your constituents or the people who trust you to vote for the candidate who is going to make life harder for them, but you're doing this anyway. It's insane. I don't know, guys.
Well, I think the slur used to be that. Now it's you're anti-Semitic, right? If you don't agree, or we're going to find something on you that's anti-Semitic. But what it used to be was you're a communist.
Yeah,
exactly. That was the slur that they would use. And I think Trump actually just said something about Mamdani being a communist and saying that I have powers in the executive branch. I can go ahead and take over New York. We're talking about doing it in D.C.
Yeah.
And that's not fascist shit at all.
No. When he was even talking about trying to deport Mamdani.
Yes. Okay.
He's got a long list that he wants to deport.
He does. You're on it too, I bet.
No.
No. Why would someone want to get rid of me?
Never.
Never. All right. So we've been talking a lot about insane stuff happening on the national level, but I think people need to realize Michigan is a little microcosm. The insane shit happens here first, quite honestly.
We are the test case. Remember, we had the Jan 6 before they had Jan 6.
That's
we had people
right.
storming our capital before January 6th.
That's absolutely right. They had guns in the rotunda.
They did.
So that whole thing, okay, that kind of fed off that Unlock Michigan movement that was happening. You know what we just found out?
Tell.
Okay.
Do tell.
So on multiple occasions, DTE lied about this, published lies.
Shocking to me.
Were
Why ever would they
asked
lie?
point blank by journalists and lied to people's faces. Okay. Julie and I constantly talk about PAC money and how we need to get rid of it. This is perfect case right here. DTE gave $100,000 to Unlock Michigan funneled it through them to help remove. So basically, Unlock Michigan was this whole thing where they wanted to remove the governor's executive powers so she could put COVID mitigation laws into place. So, if you recall, like certain businesses were closed at certain times, and there were just all these restrictions.
People were pissed they couldn't go up to their lake homes.
Yeah.
That's what they were pissed about. Or they couldn't get a haircut.
I think it was even smaller than that. It was literally that they couldn't go to the local pub.
Right.
Like for 5 minutes. When
Home
we
De-
had fucking meat trucks
You
down
can't
in
go to
Detroit.
Home Depot.
Right.
With people in them,
Yeah,
bodies.
being used as
When you put it in that
morgues.
context, like we literally had the dead like stacked in refrigerator
Yeah.
trucks behind our hospitals. But people wanted to go get a haircut. People who own lawn mowing companies were, storming the Capitol and here in Lansing. But so DTE funded that entire movement, wrote them $100,000 check, and then lied about it for years. And this just came out in a separate court case. Through emails that were found from the Unlock movement, where they absolutely wrote, "This is the DTE check," and it was like,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Are you ever worried that like talking about DTE so much you're going to get your power like permanently turned off? Maybe you should talk about
Power
a
is
generator.
turned off every other week.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I don't
We
know if
just
it's
had a
anything to do
storm
with
here.
this podcast, but it is off a lot.
yeah. I mean, a stiff wind and my power
Yeah.
goes out.
What I don't understand is like what vested interest does DTE have in the Unlock Michigan movement? Was it just to spite Gretchen Whitmer? Because they give money
To everybody.
everybody,
Yeah.
right?
Well, they're definitely giving more to one side than to another,
Yeah.
but it's just like utility companies that are already monopolies should not be able to write checks to our government to.
No.
I have an idea.
Let's hear it, Julie.
My idea is a citizen-led ballot petition which bans corporate money contributions to political candidates
Yes.
from either monopoly utilities companies like DTE, those sort of big
Consumers,
companies,
yep.
Consumers Energy, and corporations that have large state or contracts, basically.
So you're talking about undoing Citizens United at a state level.
At a state level, yeah. So anyone that has corporations that have basically large state or local government contracts, nope, sorry, you cannot contribute.
Julie,
What have I missed?
it's not a pipe dream. It's happening.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm
We
in.
will have a citizen-led initiative that will ban political contributions from regulated monopoly utilities like DTE and Consumers Energy. And if you have government contracts over $250,000, you will be banned from giving money.
Hallelujah.
I mean, this is just common sense.
Yeah.
it is.
This is common sense.
Yeah.
And I applaud that.
And I just want to do a shout out. We're looking for volunteers to help us collect signatures for that, because I think what people need to understand, it's these corporations should not have more of a say as to who runs our state and who our elected officials are than us as the electorate.
Absolutely.
So please, Distill Social, look us up.
Yeah. You can go to our website and see the ballot initiative tab and go there and learn more about all the initiatives we're supporting, and you can sign up to volunteer, or you can check out our app. It's on there too.
There's an app. There's an app for that.
That's right. So what else fucking weird in Michigan is happening? I love to read the opinion pieces, like either New York Times or Detroit News.
I don't know how
opinion
you can
pieces.
stomach Detroit
Yeah,
news.
I
Well,
am
I
the
send them to
same.
Julie,
I don't know
and
how
I
you
get
can
my
deal.
angst out by texting her, "Have you seen this fucking bullshit?"
And at that point, I say I can't read.
So I want to apologize.
Yes.
For emotionally using you.
It's almost like emotional abuse, I want to say.
You know where you could put that angst? Into ChatGPT.
I don't
my
want
God.
it to like one day overtake my refrigerator and then like walk out of the wall and come after me.
Your ChatGPT is gonna like team up with DTE.
Yeah.
You're gonna,
Or like my like floor vacuum, it's gonna like just chase
Your
me around my
Roomba.
house. Yeah, it's like it's gonna like start talking to my Roomba.
oh god, it's like a Black Mirror episode.
Oh, I feel like I was not able to watch Black Mirror when it came out. I watched the first 2 episodes and went, oh fuck no, that's just
too
too
close.
like too far fetched.
It's too close. That's how
And
I feel about
now I've
Handmaid's
spent
Tale.
10 years here and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, we're there.
Anything's possible.
We're
I know,
there.
if I thought an English prime minister fucking a pig was out of
Yeah.
What?
Do you remember that?
Is it from Black Mirror?
Yeah,
I
the
don't watch
first
Black
episode.
Mirror.
Oh, the
Like,
That was the
point
first
on
one.
purpose.
Yeah,
the first.
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. We've
That-
gone
that
way
seems-
off the rails.
That seems tame now. Anyway,
Yes.
go on.
Oh, I mean,
Bring
I
us
wouldn't be
back on the rails.
surprised.
Okay, so there's 2 writers for the Detroit News, Nolan Finley and Caitlin Buss, who have the worst fucking hot takes I've ever read in my life, and it's just like it actually made me like discontinue my subscription.
I can't even believe you were paying for that shit.
I was because
Nah.
there's they have good journalists at the Detroit News, but I swear to God, their editorial section, they all fucking need to be taken out back and swift kick in the balls. So Caitlin Buss, who does not have balls, I don't know, maybe a throat punch would work there, says, we need a Rick Schneider 2.0.
No, we don't.
Okay.
Speaking of incompetence,
Okay,
we
so
don't.
I need to because Rick Schneider was only governor here for a hot minute before when I got here.
he served 2 terms.
Tell me about him.
He served two terms. He called himself one tough nerd. He came from a corporate background prior. And when he got elected into office, I had actually just moved to Colorado. So I didn't have to really deal with him quite as much.
He didn't poison your water?
He didn't poison my water, mostly because I don't live in Flint and I'm not a member of a minority community. But yeah.
We literally, like, Flint's water was just, like, fixed.
Yeah.
Like,
and that was
Yeah.
how long did that go on for? Like,
I mean, it's over a decade.
15 years
Yeah.
at least, with all of that shit.
And so he also did a shit ton of stuff to education in this state. We're still reeling from those
the
cuts.
charter school
So
stuff he did.
he was so bad. It's taken Michigan over 15 years to overcome all the dumb shit he did, like defunding public ed. Like he was giving hundreds of millions of dollars that were earmarked for a school aid fund and gave it to other places. Like between 2010 and 2018, they siphoned off like $4.5 billion from public schools to help fund corporate tax breaks.
Yeah, when like you said, we're still recovering from that. Like he was
Yeah.
super anti-choice. So
Was
a
he?
lot of the things that the RHA,
Yeah.
the Reproductive Health Act,
Yeah.
were trying to fix came under his administration. So like the clinics and all of the different laws that they had to
All
follow.
the stuff that made access so much harder.
Yeah, that was under Snyder as
They had
well.
to basically had to become hospitals to be able to.
Yeah.
to have
So,
it.
Caitlin, your fucking opinion sucks.
Well, one of the things I want to kind of point out, because I did start to read it and then I got super annoyed, is like she's talking about the economy and she's talking about like the unemployment rate. When Snyder was in office, Obama was in office.
Yeah.
And we had like a much better situation happening. Right now, we've got all these fucking people getting laid off from the federal government, tariffs, all like you have to look at the context of everything.
Yeah.
And that she's very narrow-minded when it comes to we need Snyder 2.0.
she
No
clearly
thanks.
has her narrative she's pushing that we're not buying.
Yeah, no thank you.
Okay, more opinions. Ready? So I did this little fun thing on Instagram. If you guys aren't following us there, you should, because I put funny little things into the stories. So I kind of did this like ask us anything type thing, right?
Amazing.
So we got people asking us for jobs. We got people asking us weird shit, but we got a few like am I the asshole type things.
They want to be on the podcast too.
Yes, that was another question.
Yeah.
Can I come on?
Can I
I don't
come
know
on?
who the fuck you are. No, you can't come on the podcast.
But we still
I don't
love you
know.
because you're following
You
us.
can
Hello.
start your own podcast. That's not going to pay you.
I don't, sure, come on. What the hell? Okay, so are you guys ready for this one?
I'm not sure.
I want to know who's the asshole.
Yeah.
I'm excited to weigh in.
Okay, am I the asshole for walking out of my family's 4th of July barbecue after they toasted the big, beautiful bill?
No.
Holy fuck.
Okay, so this person writes in, my cousin who works in conservative politics raised a glass at our family barbecue to the big beautiful bill and said it's finally time to end the administrative state.
Wow.
Yeah. I called it what it is, a fascist blueprint hurting the most vulnerable people in our community. My uncle told me to chill. It's just politics. But I left in the middle of the party, and I may have flipped a tray of hot dogs on the ground before I left. Now half of my family says I ruined the holiday. Am I the asshole for refusing to play nice with people who openly support authoritarianism?
No.
You definitely aren't the arsehole. In fact, you might be invited onto the podcast.
Yes.
He sounds like a person I'd want to hang out with, although his family does sound like dicks.
I do want a hot dog. That sounds really good right now. I didn't have any hot dogs on the 4th.
But I do think, like, I've never been in this position, but I do think that must be a really fucking tough position to be in, right? You're sitting around your entire family sounds like a group of douches, and you're having to, like, sit there and listen to that. And not, I mean, good for you. No, I think you're totally not the asshole.
Totally in line with, these are my values. And I wonder how much too, sometimes if like, family members get together and they know that you're liberal and they're conservative and they want to wind you up, at the end of the day too.
I feel like this is probably a lot more common than we think. We kind of live in our little ecosystems and happy little bubbles.
I just don't go to family things anymore. That kind of saves me a lot of grief.
My whole family hates Trump,
Yeah.
so I'm lucky. And my extended family also. We don't really have any MAGAs.
We're split. We're kind of split in our family. My close family, like we're all very liberal, but my extraneous family, I love them, but like I can't be around you right now until you see the light and you see the impact this is all going to have. We're just going to keep it separate.
I feel like we've spoken about this before. The thing that I obviously don't have that issue. My family is not here, but I can't imagine how it must feel at a guttural level if you yourself are impacted by what's, the shit that's going on right now, and to have people that you love, right, because they're your family, fucking basically barracking, cheering on something that's literally going to take you down in some way, shape or form, or take others that you know down. I mean, that must be, I'd flip more than fucking hot dogs. I'd probably be getting some people in the balls.
Flip the whole table, get the liquor, get all the things, like, oh shit, oh no, your liquor got all dumped out, so sorry.
I find it hard to believe that there's no one in this person's family who's going to be impacted by this bill, okay? Like, you might not have anyone in your immediate family on Medicaid or food assistance or, who are going to have their job cut by some sort of, like, Doge thing happening. But, like, you all have to know somebody at the very least, and how there's no empathy for any of that.
No. What did we say? Like the brick through the window.
Yeah.
Right.
I think also, like we always say, that the big thing is these people probably, they may not be wealthy, but they, once again, one lucky break away from being a billionaire. That's what it comes down to for some of these people. And they've been brainwashed. It's a cult, Gina. It's a fucking cult.
Flip more hot dogs.
Yeah,
do it. You're not the asshole. They're the assholes.
Okay, you want to do one more?
Yes.
All right. Am I the asshole for wearing a tax the rich tee to my boyfriend's family fundraiser for a luxury golf course?
Oh, I want this person on the podcast too. I do love that.
My boyfriend's family is loaded and hosted a posh charity golf event for some shady economic development board that's trying to privatize public land. I showed up with a tasteful tax the rich, public land is not for sale t-shirt. His dad was livid. My boyfriend is embarrassed, but I think they needed to hear it. Am I the asshole?
No.
Well, okay.
This is something I would do.
Yes, I love this.
Okay, so I'm going to maybe have a counter view on this. I would say you're definitely not the asshole if you don't want to keep the boyfriend.
Yeah.
So if you don't intend to marry this person, I think go for it. Fantastic. Love it. Do it all day. I think it might be just a little bit difficult when it comes to if you want that relationship to succeed.
I'm assuming this person is using she, her pronouns, but I'm assuming she is not wanting to continue this relationship anymore.
Sounding like she's just ready to burn it all down.
Yeah, burn it down, babe.
It's
Burn
a
it
great
down.
way to burn it
Come
down.
to the
Love
apps
it.
with me.
This is like the perfect going out gift to the family.
It's the perfect fuck you to the family.
This is also flipping a table with hot dogs on it.
Yeah. Without flipping.
Are there more? Are there any more?
Well, I think we should save the others for the next
Oh,
episode.
man. I love Am I the Asshole? Those
Everyone's
are-
going to have to come back in 2 weeks'
Yeah.
time.
Tell us what your Am I the Assholes?
Okay, we've got another one.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for refusing to vote for the Democratic candidate in my district because they took money from AIPAC?
I need more information. Who's the Republican candidate?
Well, they're not going to be good.
Right. So like that's my question. Like who ended up winning that election? You know what I mean? Like I don't have enough information to say if you're the asshole or not because it really depends on the context of the outcome.
And I'm assuming this isn't a primary. This is in the general election. So that makes it way more complicated because at the end of the day, it's like haircut or a beheading. You know, I know everyone gets sick of me saying that, but, it's like people that didn't vote for Kamala because whatever.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, you know what? Your fucking policies, what you do, have consequences, and fuck it. If you don't want to vote for an AIPAC candidate, don't.
Yeah, but also your vote has consequences. I say
Yeah.
to people, have the vote you
But how
have the
is the
day you
party-
voted for.
How is the party going to learn though? Like we're sitting with a party with like our approval rating is like 28% for the Democratic Party. The only approval rating that's even lower is Democrats' opinion of Israel, which is sitting around 21% right now.
but it is I need
so
more
if
context.
the party is going to keep marrying themselves to a burning ship,
But
what are they going to expect is going to continue to happen?
It's like, but what you said is like, is this a general? Is it a primary?
Yeah.
Is it a primary? Because it's like, okay, I'm looking at primary for U.S. Senator here in Michigan. We got Haley Stevens, Abdul El Sayed, and Mallory McMorrow.
Okay,
I'm going to
so-
look at them and say, who's taking AIPAC money? Oh, you are? Okay, bye. You're off my list.
I'll tell you what the person said.
Okay.
I voted blue my whole life, but I can't bring myself to support my incumbent House rep after they accepted $300K from AIPAC and refused to call for a Gaza ceasefire.
Oh.
My friends say I'm helping to elect a Republican. I say some lines can't be crossed. Am I the asshole for letting this be the deal breaker?
this is a tough one. because-
300,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Especially for a House race. So that must have been a very contentious House race.
Haley Stevens took way more for her race.
Well, are we talking a House of Representatives in Michigan or a House
Congress.
Congress.
House of
Yeah.
Representatives.
See, then that feels, I don't know, that feels a little different. I'm thinking we're talking about the Michigan House,
Yeah.
which is consequential, right? But if you're talking about
Yeah.
Congress,
So I think we also have to note that AIPAC gives equally to Republicans and Democrats. So
I mean, you're abstaining. I'm assuming this person's abstaining from voting altogether or voting
that
for a
particular
third
race,
in
yeah.
that particular race or voting a third party. Right. So again, I don't know all of the nuance, so I can't say
and I
if they're
feel
the
like
asshole or not.
I'm not going
Yeah.
to call you an asshole. I'm just going to say elections have consequences, and this gets really fucking complicated. But I get it. I get the I get the, the difficulty you would have in making that decision. But at the same time, here we are. Like I always think that not voting or like abstaining from voting, and it's probably because of where I come from, where voting is compulsory. Not
Yeah.
voting is like a privilege, right? It means that whatever happens doesn't affect you. You know what I mean? That's how I think about it. It's like if I had the privilege of not having to give a shit about what happens, then abstaining from voting, that's okay.
Yeah.
But as women, I don't think we ever have that privilege,
No, we
quite
don't.
honestly.
I mean, this is where, you need to get really strategic. Like, okay, like what's the split in the house? Does this matter? Like there's so many layers.
You have
Yeah.
to think about that
They're
a little bit
on.
harder. And I think back
But
to
I think a strongly worded letter
I voted for
phone
you.
call.
sent to this particular House representative is in order here.
Yeah.
Which is how we
as a
fix
constituent.
things.
I mean, I would begrudgingly support the candidate, but they would hear from me for sure.
And I think your voice is super powerful. And I think people forget that you can call, you can, send letters, and they read all that shit. They get all that shit.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, that's all for today. I'm going to save the rest of them for next episode.
I love this, but I think if you're out there, send "Am I the Asshole" questions over to to us at the pod at Point of Disorder on our social platforms. You can slide into our DMs with your Am I the Asshole?
You can either slide into Distill Social or at Point of Disorder on TikTok or Instagram.
That's right.
But don't forget to leave a review. Give us a 5 stars. Follow us on all of our platforms.
That's right. Do it.
And please share. Please share our podcast with others because we do want to have other people hear us.
That's right. We got to get the word out, right? We're
We do.
like a decade behind on our apparatus here for the the
So
liberal
remember,
side.
guys, next week, no episode, but we will have a short for you. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
And that's a wrap on today's episode of Point of Disorder. We'd like to extend a huge thank you to everyone who listened today. And if you like us, give us a like, a subscribe, or a review on any place you get your podcasts. And don't forget to follow us on social media at Distill Social and at The Guerrilla Politic. This is the Point of Disorder podcast, signing off. Stay sharp, stay progressive, and above all, stay tuned.